One ability that I've developed over the years has been being able to talk to almost anyone about some interests of theirs. So here are 3 tips for how to better converse with anyone. Tip number 1 is to have a broad range of hobbies. Throughout the years, I've had the time and opportunity to develop hobbies in a broad variety of categories. For example, I've been into athletics, I've played many sports over the years, I'm a big reader. There was a time where I was more into computers and computer performance when it comes to running games and software. I'm a musician. So I've had the opportunity to develop hobbies in many different categories, many of which have been stereotypically associated with certain kinds of people, Maybe sometimes people are like, oh, he's an athlete, or he's a musician, or she's a reader, or she's more of a, academic person, so on and so forth. But for me, having interests and hobbies in a lot of different fields has allowed me to converse with people when I've run into them who've had interests in maybe one of those stereotypical categories. I can talk about athletics with an athlete, or I can talk about music-related things with a musician. So definitely having a broad variety of hobbies increases your opportunities to have something in common with someone with which you may be conversing. Second tip is to read a lot, whether it's about subjects that you already have interests in, or maybe you have hobbies in, or maybe reading about things that you don't know a whole lot about. But reading a lot adds that information base with which you can pull when you're talking to people, and it exposes you to new ideas about things maybe you already have some measure of knowledge about, or maybe it exposes you to ideas and information which you don't have a lot of background in. But reading definitely increases your ability to have a broad knowledge base for which you can use to better converse with people of different backgrounds. Third tip is to, when you're talking to somebody, actively listen and contribute to the conversation where you can. So when someone's talking about something maybe you're not very familiar with, don't just kind of look at them with a glazed look in your eyes, kind of throwing those token, somewhere along the way, but actively listen, look them in the eyes, every once in a while repeating back some things that they're saying to show that you are listening to what they're saying. And when they do say something of which you have some familiarity, you can interject and contribute at that point in the conversation. Maybe they're talking about something you're not very familiar with, when they say something that you are familiar with, then you can converse with them there, or add to the discussion there. Now, I'm not saying you should pretend to know things that you don't know, or that you should kind of be high and mighty and don't ever make it seem like there's nothing that you don't know, but when it comes to adding and contributing to conversations, look for those opportunities where you can add to the dialogue. So those are my 3 tips for how to better converse with anyone about anything. If you have any tips of your own, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And otherwise, I hope this video has been useful for you guys.